Polubcie ten film. Zostawcie komentarz. Pokażcie ten film swoim znajomym. Módlcie się za mnie. Zasubskrybujcie ten kanał. Proszę kliknijcie również w dzwonek po zasubskrybowaniu. Budujmy razem lepszą Polskę, szerząc wiedzę i kulturę.
Through the centuries, France and Britain have fought more than 24 wars, usually over land and money. After a lengthy peace, hostilities have again broken out. Elizabeth Palmer reports this time the malice is over mollusks.
There was ramming on the high seas last night as the dispute over shellfish turned ugly. English fishermen say a flotilla of French boats swarmed them, and the French hurled insults and rocks to drive them off the scallop beds.
Before we knew it, we had around 10, maybe 15 other French boats surrounding us, throwing rocks at us, flares, lighting the sky up with flares so other boats could see us. It was quite an intense moment.
This stretch of water may be called the English Channel, but some of the richest scallop fishing is on the French side. It attracts fishermen from both countries eager to cash in on this lucrative delicacy. But clashing international rules say the English boats can fish anytime, while the French are forced to wait until the 1st of October. It makes French fishermen like Anthony Cannell furious. We're trying to get rid of the English, he said, because if we let them get away with this, they are going to clear out the whole area. In the end, the English boats retreated, home to port. But the English fishermen say if negotiations don't solve this standoff in the coming days, they'll be back next week for round 2. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
A battle at sea between French and British fishermen Tuesday. Vessels ramming into each other. Flares and rocks hurled. The trigger, scallops. The French were furious when 2 boats from the UK began fishing near the Normandy coast in international waters.
French fishermen have quotas. We have permitted ours. The British don't have anything. They don't have quotas. It's 7 days a week for them. They fill up, they come, they dredge, they fill up the hold and then they go home.
British boats can legally gather scallops all year round, but French law only allows scallop fishing for its own fishermen between October and May. The French have for years said this puts them at a disadvantage. These fishermen decided to take matters into their own hands. No injuries were reported, but 3 boats were damaged in the confrontation. Ultimately, the Brits were outnumbered 40 boats to just 2. But what the French fishermen want is a change of legislation.
It was worth it in the end because they've gone. They've gone further than 20 nautical miles. As my colleagues said, we've won the battle, but we haven't won the war.
It's a scene worthy of a naval battle. Filmed from a French trawler, these French fishermen throw rocks before getting rammed by their target, an English boat. Early Tuesday morning, around 40 Norman fishing boats set out to confront their English counterparts. The tension mounted quickly as they hurled insults and threw flares at each other. It went on for several hours, damaging 3 boats before the police arrived. The situation ended when English boats retreated and left the area.
In the end, it paid off because they left. They left, but they got more than 20,000 scallops. As my colleagues have said, we won the battle, but we haven't won the war.
It's a recurring conflict. For years, French fishermen have denounced what they call a summer pillage in the Baie de Seine, a French coastal region. There, British boats can legally fish year-round, but the French must wait until October 1st. They're concerned about overfishing and the impact on their business. On Tuesday night, the British Federation of Fishermen called for calm and negotiations.
shit. Well, that looks a bit fucking serious. And then the EU's like, not our problem apparently, according to the Express. The EU ignores the French attack on British boats and says sort it out yourselves. I thought that war in Europe was what the EU was meant to prevent. Well, not if you don't intervene when French fishermen attack British fishermen. I mean, I'm not saying that we're up for a 100-year war, but we do have a precedent for it. Naturally, the